All right. I think we are live. See if I can look at my notes. I think so. Yeah, definitely. See a couple people. Is my sound coming over okay? Hey, shalom. How are you doing, Cheryl? Can you hear me okay? Good. I was trying to do I was planning to do the live with my phone, but at the last minute, I couldn't find the post that I put on here to sync it to my phone. So my phone has a little bit better video, and I bought this new microphone for it because the mic in the Pixel phones is not that good. So this little mic here, it's a smartphone mic made by Comica. It's the VS09, and what it does is it plugs into your phone. So right now I have to take the case off. I have a little cover on mine. So I take the case off, and then you plug it right into here. And so when you film the video, you just point the phone at you. It's a directional microphone, and then you get a little bit better sound. And I tried it, and it does work a lot better than the built-in mic that's on this phone. Yes, everything is going crazy. That's why I decided to do a short live video tonight, just to see how everybody was doing and see what was going on in your neck of the woods, and tell you a little bit about what has been going on in my neck of the woods, which right now is in Virginia. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Hi, Ron. Thanks for the thumbs up on the sound. Like I said, I think when I start using my phone, the sound and the video quality should be better. But we'll see what happens. So we have been, we arrived here, just to update everybody, if you haven't seen my recent live videos where I went on with my wife. How you doing, Longhorn Prepper? Good to hear from you. We arrived here in Virginia from the Charlotte, North Carolina area on Tuesday, and my wife was supposed to have her first radiation treatment to treat a benign brain tumor that's in an inoperable area of her brain. We were supposed to have our first session on Wednesday. However, Johns Hopkins Hospital and the people there contacted us Tuesday when we arrived here and said they wanted to reschedule, and they weren't ready to take her case yet. They had some more fine tuning to do with the radiation beams and whatever else goes into all of that planning. And so they set it up for today, which is Thursday the 12th, and we had our first appointment in Sibley Memorial Hospital in Washington, D.C. It was a 1:40 p.m. appointment. Everything went according to schedule. My wife was able to do the appointment and get through it. The actual time, from the time they took her from the waiting room into the treatment room. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. That time, I think she was only in there about 15 minutes. So the actual treatment, I think, was even less than that, she said. And so from here, starting today, which was our first treatment, through tomorrow, we're at set everything up for us, so we know what times the appointments are. And so then in April, it looks like if all goes well, we finish up April 21st. So I will be here from this week through April 21st. And So we have the doggies with us. We're in a really nice hotel, and we're staying here. And right now, the last couple of days have been kind of, we're trying to get used to living in a hotel suite and all that comes with that. And so that's been kind of little bit of an uphill battle for us, but we're getting used to it. I've been at the local grocery store, which is actually right across the parking lot from our hotel. I was there earlier today. I've been there twice already, and I can tell you they're pretty well stocked up on most stuff, but they're out of today. They were out of most of the bottled water was out. Most of the toilet paper was out. Some of the paper towel was out, not all of it, because I was able to buy some Bounty towel. But other than that, I noticed that maybe the rice section was a little bit more scarce than it usually is. Some of the canned goods and like tuna and canned chickens and stuff like that were kind of picked through. But other than that, everything's been going. Looked like they had stock. There were a lot of people when I went there, but it was also after work, so this area gets pretty crowded. This area just outside of DC, so a lot of places are overcrowded here. But anyway, we're getting through it. We got through the first session. My wife's just resting now. She's just really worn out from driving here and setting up the hotel and getting this first appointment and all the nerves and everything that goes with it. So today was a good day that we got that done with. Tomorrow now we could leave a little bit later. We know about how long it takes to get there, and we know basically what it's going to be like each day. So each day should get better as far as that goes. It's just a matter of, in this area, depending on what time you leave, like those 9:20 a.m. appointments means that we have to leave here, I'm going to say by 8:30, which brings us into like some DC traffic going into DC. So I have to experiment with that on one of these days. When is our next 9:20 appointment? Our next 9:20 appointment is not till next Thursday, so we don't have to worry about it till then. The other appointments next week are are in the afternoon. I see some people here. So again, I wanted to update you guys on that. It's the reason why I'm here in Virginia, why we're going to be here for the next 6 weeks or so. I do have people staying at my house. So my house in Charlotte is occupied. I have family there, staying there. I have family in and around that whole area, and also have some family and friends in this area as well that I could lean on, which is good. I'm seeing people put through here some of the cases of the Wuhan virus, Corona virus in their areas. Winston-Salem, one confirmed case of the Wuhan flu in Winston-Salem. Best wishes from Britain. Thank you, Silverback 57. I appreciate it. I know New York has a containment zone. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I'm from, those of you that don't know, I'm from New York, and I'm actually from the Westchester County area in a town called Harrison, New York, which is super close to New Rochelle. In fact, when I was younger in high school and those years, we went out a lot in New Rochelle. I think it was on North Avenue or one of those main streets there. There were a bunch of bars that we used to go to in high school there. So I know the area really well. And I saw that they had some kind of a lockdown there. I just want to see if I could access my notes and still talk to you guys. I think I can, yeah. Thanks, Frank, for praying for us. And thanks, everyone, for just sending us your best wishes and prayers. We really appreciate it. Really keep us lifted up. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's great to hear from you. I know you've been praying for us, and we appreciate you and your family praying for us. Barbie's doing really well. Just tired from a long, seemed like forever this week. It's only, well, tomorrow's Friday. The nice thing about the treatment schedule, is we go Monday through Fridays, and we have Saturdays and Sundays off. So you go 5 days a week. The actual treatments, like I said, 15 minutes or so, and then you're free the rest of the day. So yesterday we went to a nice restaurant. We had lunch there, and just kind of trying to settle in here. And this weekend we might go visit some friends and family, depending on how Barbie feels um, on Saturday. So, and again, we got the doggies with us, and so that's really nice. They really help keep everything down. In Washington State, I know New York has several cases. Dallas, Texas has 6 cases. Thanks, Firestorm, for asking about my wife. They're just now starting to cancel and shut down schools here in Alabama. 1 case in Fort Worth. Thanks, PNW Rider. You see, there's events closing. There's schools closing. There's universities. NBA is canceling. Did they cancel the what's it called? I'm not a huge basketball fan. The March Madness. I think they originally were going to play it without fans, and now they said I read something that they canceled it altogether. Can anyone let me know about that? That I'm not sure of. They're restricting public gatherings, school closings, universities. I made a list here of some universities that were closing, that already closed. Ohio State, Stanford, Harvard, Princeton, Columbia, UCLA, University of California, Berkeley, University of Maryland, Kent State, Indiana University, Hofstra, Amherst, University of Southern California. Cruise ship, that Grand Princess cruise ship in California was still, I think as of today, was still disembarking passengers off the ship. Why you would go on a cruise right now, I think you need to have your darn head examined to go on a cruise right now. But people are taking advantage of, I think my wife heard some lady talking about, oh, we got a great price and we're going to take our masks with us and our Purell spray or whatever we're taking. But I think a lot of the cruise ships are going to start cutting back on service also. So we may see curtailing of some cruises also in the cruise ship industry. The latest I have on the U.S. death toll was 28. I think it's as high as 30 something as of tonight. I wrote this earlier today. 1,025 or so confirmed cases. I'm sure that's going up. Global death toll 4,200. Number of confirmed cases globally 120,000, maybe, and growing. Benchmark crude's been down 50%, which is hurting, I guess, the oil industry. Hotel industry is under duress. I read some of that today, where business travel is being canceled, vacations are being curtailed, events are being canceled. So we're in a hotel right now, but and there are people here, and there are some groups that are coming in. Again, I don't know. We'll see how busy it gets over the weekend. Airlines are cutting capacity. Wild swings in the stock market. What do you guys think about what's going on with the stock market? Today, I think, was one of the made like the top 10 list of one of the single biggest losses in the stock market. Dr. Brian, PNW Rider, says Dr. Brian Monahan, the attending physician for the U.S. Senate, warned senators on Tuesday that anywhere from 70 to 150 million Americans will contract the COVID-19. Okay, so that was something that Dr. Brian Monahan talked about today. How bad what happens once these people contract this? They're saying many can have it and get through it, not even know they had it, have very little symptoms. But again, elderly seem to be affected the hardest, or people with bad immune systems. When a state declares a state of emergency, can impose martial law. Yes, Um, and we're very close to getting there right now. And that's why this all ties into prepping and being ready, and videos that I've been doing and others have been doing for years and years. Like I said, I've been on YouTube since 2009, and been prepping and doing prepping videos almost that whole time. And now that people see, now people are running to the stores and buying toilet paper and trying to buy all these goods and services, and they're finding that they're either on back order, they're running out, they can't be fulfilled, and now what do you do? And I want to know also, who are the genius presidents, past presidents, and leaders of this country that negotiated deals letting China take over, manufacture most of our, for one thing, our drugs or many ingredients for drugs. I mean, there had to be a lot of money going in people's pockets to subcontract all that work out and not have it being produced here. That's a major setback for this country, and it's a way, when Trump was pressuring China on trade, they can come back. I think this is all tied in, to a more sinister scheme. I don't think, and I told you this last night in a brief video that I did. I don't think this is, this just started, or just this just happened to come around at this time. And I said this in earlier videos that 2020 was going to be a very bloody, I said, and a year with many deaths. If you go back a few videos, you'll see it. You'll see what I said there, and it seems to be panning out that way. Especially if this pandemic gets worse and worse before it gets better. We could see a lot of deaths and a lot of infrastructure destruction, just a lot of upheaval in people's lives, the lives of companies, individuals that have to work, kids that are going to schools. This all has like an exponential effect. When you start closing, pre-K through high schools and colleges and stuff like that, it just has a very bad effect on parents. Now have to stay home with kids, possibly not go to work or call off. It just it's just not a good situation. I'm trying to look at some of the comments here. Yep. Thank you, Frank, for yeah, a lot of my channel. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And if you go back and watch videos and from days, weeks, months, and years past, you'll see Bible studies, you'll see physical fitness workouts, you'll see prepping videos, you'll see political commentary. And so you'll see in a lot of my prepping videos over the years how putting aside, at the very minimum, a week to a month's worth of food and water and other supplies where you don't have to venture out of your house. And this is a case in point with this virus. The more you have to go out and encounter large crowds, whether it's at Walmart, Costco, giant supermarket, Publix, Harris Teeter, whatever markets you're going out, and the more you have to go out and the more products become scarcer, the more chances you have of encountering trouble. And that's anything from somebody taking your stuff, trying to take your stuff, fighting for goods, taking your stuff after you buy it and you're walking out to your car. They take it from you. So as things get worse and products get scarcer and scarcer, that very well may happen. It has a history of happening. So the more prepared you are before a crisis, the better you are. And that's what preppers, real preppers preach, that put away the basics, just like you save for a bank account. You save a little bit each week out of your paycheck into a 401k plan, a savings plan in your bank, or you invest some money a little bit at a time. After a while, that money grows. And so there's the same thing with prepping. You go to the store, you buy a bag of rice extra, a bag of beans extra, some soups, some salt, some sugar, some oils, some Band-Aids, some toothpaste, some hygiene, toilet paper, and you do that a little bit each time. When this day comes, you're sitting back and saying, okay, I'm pretty good. Maybe I'll pick and choose when and where I go out when I think it's safe, and I'll go out and try to pick up or add to my preps when it's convenient for me and not in a panic buying mode. That's what we want to. That's something I talk about all the time. Now I'm in a little bit difficult situation here because it's like a perfect storm. I'm away from where I've been preparing most of my preps. Upwards of 6 hours from there. And to boot, I'm in a hotel room with limited space and limited amount of storage. But I am close to some other people that I know that maybe are not preppers, but that can help us out in an emergency, or I could go to them in a dire emergency if needed. So I'm very close to people like that here, and we're fortunate to have that here. Consumer goods, Procter & Gamble is warning of coming shortages, as well as the same reason to one economist, the worst impact for businesses will come in April and May. So listen to that. Let's see if that pans out. If that does pan out and shortages of products are going to peak in April or start in April, now is the time to be buying online, having it delivered, or going and get it yourself. And it doesn't take much. You could put away a good amount of food. And I would say at this point, if you could put away 90 days and you could afford it, use the money because it'll be like gold. Those products that you pick up will be like gold if the system collapses for any length of time. Second Amendment, that's exactly right. That's why we have the Second Amendment. When the infrastructure breaks down, we're going to see people go from bad to worse. It's not going to be everyone holding hands and getting along and sharing their goods. I'm sorry to tell everyone, be prepared for a shock on what's going to happen if people's kids are going hungry, or your neighbor's kids are going hungry. They can become your worst enemy. So just keep that in mind as well. China also has all the electronic components of our military aircraft. Also, yeah, they were talking about the money, and this all ties into this globalist New World Order beast system that is coming upon us, that is predicted in the Bible. This is all leaning towards that end goal. If you can't see it, you definitely need to open your eyes. But there is a plan to control everything under a world government that could happen very quickly and very efficiently. In this type of pandemic really lasts a long time and kills many people and causes countries to fall and stock markets to go down and economies to crash. We could see a very different United States of America in a very short time period. Upcoming shortages of electronics, it'll have a trickle down effect. I mean, if truckers start getting sick and drivers can't deliver goods, the party's over. Most of our goods are delivered via truck. Doctors and nurses, if they start getting sick, police officers, if they start getting sick, who's going to patrol this? It's like I said, it could be a domino type effect. Security could be on you, and you could be in charge of the security of your family. Going out on the streets could be very dangerous. I also think, NBA canceled its games. Players I saw the player that has the virus. It's just the way the media covers this and is handling this, in my opinion, and some of you may not agree with me, but in my opinion, I believe this is the next phase of trying to remove Trump from office. I believe that this didn't happen by accident. I said that last night in the short video that I did. I believe that in some way, shape, or form, this virus was carefully planned to be released at a certain time, to be talked about and covered a certain way as to panic people, to get them to listen to officials, to get them what's the word I want to use? There's a word I want to use. I can't think of the word. I'll think of it and I'll come back to it. But to corral the people and get their mindset on just following orders, just naturally seeing the National Guard on the streets, or getting us used to this kind of a lockdown experience. Just it's social engineering is one of the words I wanted to talk about. They're getting everybody accustomed to that. And if you noticed, what was going on before this virus became really serious? What was going on in Hong Kong? What was going on in France? What was going on in even the UK and some other parts of the world? There were people rising up, protesting against their government officials for corruption, for freedoms that they weren't being granted, and for certain things. What is going on now in those countries? Where are all those hundreds of thousands of protesters on the streets of Hong Kong? Where are they on the streets in France? They were in there. The yellow vest protesters were out consecutively every single day. Where are they? This is a very convenient way to shut all that down, don't you think? Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. Very convenient way to shut everything down. Shutting large gatherings down because it's dangerous. Could have coordinated with China as well, since Trump has been hard on them. Yep. Well, we have people in our government now saying, if you call it the Wuhan flu or the Wuhan virus, that's racist. I mean, come on. It started there. Before they even locked down the cities. Thousands of people traveled around the world. I mean, that's where it started. Don't let politicians dictate what you think, because they have an ultimate goal, and that's power. And they don't want to give that up. So don't think they care about lives, American lives, the Democrats. I hear it. We care about lives. You just voted in how many states to butcher babies at birth, and you're worried about lives now? And the elderly better be careful as well, because you'll be sacrificed as well if you get sick en masse, because they'll be treating patients that are much younger before they get to you. Believe me, that's also, I believe, is planned. Goldman Sachs' David Kostin painted a bleak picture of economic reality. Supply chains have been disrupted and final demand has declined for many industries. Yeah, all about keeping people scared and compliant. Silverback. Houston closed all its schools. So think about that. How long could school systems stay closed? Kids stay home. How long let's say they stay home for 2 weeks. What do you do after 2 weeks? What if the virus hasn't peaked yet? Do you send them back? Do you make the home for another 2 weeks? How does that all bode with people that have to go to work? There's people that have to report to certain jobs You can't telecommute on certain jobs. You have to physically be there. What happens then if you can't be at your job? Do you lose your job? Does your boss fire you? These are all things that we're going to have to work through. The government's not going to have an answer for every single one of these. Excuse me. Divide and conquer. Yes, Cheryl, absolutely right. In fact, I had a note here on some of the things they use to condition the people on that social engineering, and it's one of the biggest things is fear. Fear is a great motivator of people. Keep the people in fear, and whatever you tell them, they'll follow like little lemmings. Keep them in fear. Intimidation. You go out on the streets and you're going to get thrown in jail. You break the curfew and you're going to get thrown in jail. You do this or that and we're going to come down on you. You're going to get, your credit card is going to get shut off. Your credit's going to get shut down. You name it, intimidation. It's been used over and over again. Distraction. Things that the gentleman that was murdered a few weeks ago that was related to Barack Obama and his administration. That conveniently wasn't covered and got swept under the rug. The latest Harvey Weinstein trial and jailing of Harvey Weinstein with all his connections to government officials, to media moguls, to Hollywood types. What does he know? Don't be surprised if he turns up dead of a heart attack or something related to something, and he disappears from the scene soon and stops breathing, because what he knows and who he can implicate in this huge pedophilia ring and sexual predator ring in Hollywood and in government, that's not getting coverage. And also, it goes back to what did the Obama administration, I heard it on the news today, it's on Fox, they were talking about it last night. What did Obama and Joe Biden and their administration do during the H1N1 epidemic? Not much. I mean, not in the beginning. And many, many thousands of people died of H1N1. I mean, we're talking many thousands of people in the United States, and the media didn't go berserk, and people weren't quarantined. And I know people will say, "Well, this is different." Okay, this is being orchestrated to blame Trump, to hurt Trump, to bring down the economy that was doing good, or supposedly was doing good. And can it hurt him in his reelection? Sure, it can. Maybe less people will go out to vote. Maybe they'll be afraid to go out to vote. Maybe Joe Biden won't have to go out in public as much and debate and talk because of fears of contracting a virus. They can keep him hidden longer. And whoever getting back to Joe Biden, whoever Joe Biden picks for a VP, keep your eyes open, because it could be somebody that ran last time. Whoever he picks for VP is going to be a very popular and strong candidate with the voters, with the Democrat voters. So be ready for that also. And the fourth thing that they do in social engineering, there's fear, intimidation, distraction, and division. Divide the people. We just heard it somewhere on one of the, Cheryl just said it, divide and conquer. Pro-gun, anti-gun. Black lives versus all lives. Pro-cop, anti-cop. Republican, Democrat. They give you two choices. You're for this, you're for that. It's not pro-gun, anti-gun. It's pro-freedom, anti-freedom. Second Amendment protects our freedoms. It's not about liking guns or being for a gun. It's about being for freedom. You only have true freedom when the government's in check and we don't live under a totalitarian system. That there is no freedom. Look around. Look what Bernie Sanders wants to bring here. He wants to bring quasi-Venezuelan Cuban freedom to the United States. No thanks. Head of the warehouse workers, truck drivers that are I'll supply grocery stores with just-in-time deliveries. They can't. Exactly. Great point, B&W Rider. Our system of ordering, how supermarkets and Costco's and the Walmarts of the world, it's all computerized delivery. Something comes off the shelf, they know when to order, when to reorder it, when it's going to be stocked. They don't have tons of stuff in the back room. Hey, go to the back and get me a case of tuna. Or it's like going to the bank and asking for if your money is backed. If all the money that you have, if all the money of the depositors is really in the bank when you go to the bank. No, it's not. It's all fiat money. The money's not backed. There's not. If Anthony has $1,000 in the bank, there's not $1,000 worth of gold and silver back. Okay, so if you think you have money in the bank and the system crashes economically, how do you get that money out? You think you're going to be able to go to the bank and everyone's going to be able to get their money out by the thousands or hundreds of people at a time? The banks will run out of money very quickly and turn you away. You don't really have money in the bank. You don't really have $1 million in your 401k, although that's what your statement last month might have said. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it could be zero. Talk to some people from 2008 that were jumping out of buildings, that had to go to work at McDonald's, that had hundreds of thousands of dollars in stocks and then lost everything. What you have on paper can disappear. The system can crash. You put your hopes in empty promises when you need to be looking up for your hope. Do you find it peculiar that the virus doesn't affect our weak and submissive children? Yes, I do find that peculiar. I find it very strange how this particular virus, the symptoms are, how it acts. I've even seen some videos and comparing China as well. And a lot of YouTube videos are blocked that mention 5G and coronavirus and these two together. There are some really good videos on YouTube that show that the 5G has the same symptoms as it does something to the oxygen and the hemoglobin in your blood that causes you not to be able to breathe, which the Wuhan virus or COVID-19 does. So there are lots of things to think about. And that's why I wanted to come on tonight and just get some dialogue going and get some people thinking. You want to think for yourself. Don't just listen to what they say on. See, if you think of what they say on the news every night, you're a goner, because they're just following the fear, intimidation, distraction, and division script for you and me. And so if we're just following them on TV and Fox and CNN, and just like a Fox and CNN, it's this or that. But the same man's behind the curtain with the two puppets, Fox and CNN, getting people to think that they're really getting the real news. They're only telling you what they want to tell you. You've got to do your own digging. Weinstein was he did have, I believe he had a heart attack today. As soon as they took him to Rikers Island, I think he had a small heart attack, and now they're doing some kind of procedure in the hospital. But yeah, so don't be surprised if he hangs himself in his cell or something, or stops breathing. The heart thing is just a setup. Maybe his heart's just going to stop one day in his cell. China was burning money, I think, this week, because they said the virus can live on money. And it goes what does it go hand in hand with, guys? A cashless society, right? That's what they want to bring about. How do you bring about a cashless society? All the money's infected. We got to get rid of all the paper money. And you know what? We're not going to bring it back. We're going to use cashless system. Smart chips already can do it. What's the stuff online? Bitcoin, the blockchain's already set up. That whole system's in place. Most people in the United States, most millennials or younger people, don't even carry cash with them. A lot of the millennials I know don't even carry cash. They buy a dollar pack of gum and they swipe their card. Carrying cash, you pull out $100 bill today, they look to investigate you in the store. They don't know what to do. It's like the. Did you guys ever see the movie My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin? He plays this mafia guy. The movie's hysterical. He plays this mafia guy that goes into witness protection, and they send him somewhere. These Italian vegetables and stuff, and nobody knows what the heck he's talking about. He asks for arugula, and he says it with like a Bronx accent, and the guy in the store has no clue what he's talking about. And so he gets all this. He steals one of those things you stamp a whole wagon load of steaks, and so he goes to check out, and they're adding. It looks like it's at least $1,000 worth of stuff that he's got, and it comes to like $80 or something like that. And he pulls out $100 bill and he goes to pay for it, and the clerk's like, "Wow, $100 bill!" They were shocked. That's how it is going to be with cash today and moving forward in the future. They're getting us accustomed not to carry cash. Society is going to go cashless. When it goes cashless 100%, what happens? You and me can be tracked 100%. Wherever we go can be tracked. In China, most of the people are tracked. They hardly, I don't think they carry any cash, or they're allowed to carry cash. They're tracked. They have a rating set upon them. They're filmed everywhere they go. There's cameras everywhere. It's a police state. Every purchase they make is tracked. In fact, every purchase is weighted and scored. So if you're buying things the state doesn't like at that particular time, you receive a detrimental score, which can cause you to not get credit, to get a visit from the little black guys in the black suits at night, and get you back on course. And so that's something that's can be instituted quickly, globally. I think, at least in all the major cities and countries globally, it's a very real thing, and a collapse in the system, in the current system, can be what brings that about. So, are they getting us ready for that? Is this a primer for that in America? Is this going to get us ready for something if Trump does end up getting elected in November? Will they try to crash the system right before the inauguration? They've tried everything else before he was even elected, up through impeachment, and then all of a sudden this virus breaks out. Something's going on, guys. It's not, and I won't harp on it, but something's going on. It's not all of what they're telling you is not all. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of actors in play. There's a lot of things going on that don't add up. I'm not saying it's not a real virus. I'm not saying people are not really dying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's forces behind this beyond our control. The beast system is being set up by forces beyond our control as of now. That system is being set up, whether we like it or not. What could you do about it? Well, on certain levels, you can't do anything about it. You could educate yourself. You could prepare. You could pray. You could stay mentally fit, physically fit. Try to stay off medications. Try not to get sick. Try to stay as healthy as you can. But maybe change your diet. Stop eating certain foods. Dan says it's It's meant to cull the old voters who did not go through the indoctrination systems they call schools. Yeah, good point, Dan. Exactly. A lot of the older voters, I guess I'm one of them, were not brainwashed as much as people are today coming up. Did you want to say something?
I was going to say Elevation Churches go virtual. Nothing.
Oh, really?
Groups,
So there's a huge church in the Charlotte, North Carolina area that has like 17 locations. It's called Elevation Church. Elevate, you probably heard of it. They're canceling all live, services and going virtual. And they have a huge online presence, so they could easily do that. So that's a big. You made an appearance. Yeah, Weinstein will Epstein himself. Exactly, Mr. Glass. Here in the UK, government wants China to supply our 5G Wi-Fi. Listen, I don't know much about 5G. I read a little bit about it. I know that the gigahertz signal that it delivers can be used as a weapon. It can be weaponized. I've read something to that effect. It does affect our. There was an article I read that said 26,000 doctors, these are healthcare professionals, came out against 5G being released in 2020. 26,000 doctors are against it. Something's going on. It can't be 100% safe. And I even watched a Senate hearing where a senator, I forget his name, was asking the people that were rolling out 5G, has any test been done for the safe and effective, to know that this product is safe, this new signal, so everybody could get fast downloads and everybody wants to get everything, they just want to snap their finger and have everything done. Is there any test done to make sure this is safe? And there's been nothing done, they said. So do we know what the long-term effects are? You watch old movies, everyone's walking around smoking cigarettes inside buildings, in offices, in the courtroom. Before cigarettes were known to, cigarette smoke, and cigarettes were known to cause cancer and other things. Is that the same with all of us using our cell phones? Are we getting radiation to the brain? And now with 5G, is it worse? Is Wi-Fi killing us? Just thoughts just things you want to think about that are not being discussed on regular prime time. You're not going to hear it on CNN. Romans 12:2, Bedford Carter. Thank you. Let's look that up. I should know what it says, but I think I know something about strengthening our Romans 12:2. Let's read it. I'll start with 1. So Romans 12:1-2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Verse 2. You ready? Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world. Talked about it. Conformed by the renewing of your mind. By the renewing of your mind. What transforms you and renews your mind? God's word. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. See, the system that's being set up wants to control you and me, wants us to bow down to it and to worship it and to embrace it. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform any longer to that pattern, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and then you will know what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Important to think about, even not that this is a Bible study, but for many of you, Maybe you haven't read your Bibles. It's time to go back, and you'll see what we're going through today. No matter how bad it is, it says, I am with you to the very end of the age. Never leave you, never forsake you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. That's the attitude. Your rod and your staff comfort me. That's the attitude, the mindset that we have to have today as a nation. Because our nation was founded on this. Or so they say. It's founded on this. It wasn't founded on something else. It was founded on biblical morals and values and principles. And if leaders do not adhere to that in this country, they don't deserve to be leaders. They're charlatans. They're usurpers. They can't govern righteously because there's no righteousness in them. The righteousness is their greed and their power. Yep, 5G could be a weapon for crowd dispersal. I went to the store and I can't find any hand wipes. A lot of stuff is off the shelves, guys. I ordered toilet paper, and I think I said this last night. I ordered toilet paper, paper towel, just to see how long Amazon would take to deliver it. And would it take over a week, B? She can't hear me. She's got her headphones on. First, it took over a week, and then they said it was lost in Charlotte at the fulfillment center, and then it just showed up the other day at my house. So there's no guarantee you're going to get it either. And then also, when it's delivered to your door, you better get it inside right away, because there's going to be people coming around soon looking for those deliveries. If you don't think that's happening, think again. Get the box in, get it unboxed, burn the box, throw it out, get rid of it. Don't let people know what you got delivered, and on. I'm just checking my notes here. So in New Rochelle, New York, where they quarantine the area, I think it's a 1 mile radius around the center of a cluster of people that came down with the virus. Gathering places, no temples, no schools, no churches, will be shut down for 2 weeks, says Governor Andrew Cuomo. And New York has 174 confirmed cases as of 3/10/2020. More than 100 cases are in Westchester County, tied to an Orthodox Jewish community where a lawyer was the first case in the region. Okay, that's up in New Rochelle, New York, what do you guys think about that? And how many other actors and actresses we're going to see test positive for this? So before we close tonight, what did you guys think of Trump's speech last night to the nation? The address to the nation. I thought he looked, and I mean, I'm sure he's been up around the clock with this going on, with his staff and being briefed and putting whatever he needs to do to put together to try to save, to try to make the nation get out of this. But to me, he looked really, really tired. And again, he's been up around the clock. He looked really exhausted. I saw also an earlier briefing where he was with bankers from around the country, Wall Street people, small business administration leaders, and they were talking about things that banks were going to do to make low interest loans to help the working class business, small businesses, to make it easier on people to get through this that have to miss work. They were kind of brainstorming, which is smart. I bring all the smartest minds into the room too. They know a lot more than I do, and bounce things off them and try to come up with a consensus and something that's going to work. And so that's what he attempted to talk about last night. But it doesn't matter whatever he said, the opposite, the other side's going to say the opposite or do the opposite. They want him out. And there's none of this, shaking hands across the aisle crap. They want the guy out, which means they want 60 million of us out as well. that voted for him. And again, I'm not saying that he is 100% right in everything that he does. I am saying is that from what I've seen since before 2016, we've been bullied. Americans have been bullied, beaten, abused, intimidated, um, distracted, and divided by the wing of the government that does not go along with the current president. That's what I've seen. Maybe you've seen something else. And I don't see it getting nicer or better closer we move to November. Don't think it's going to get that. If you think it's going to be all rosy and a nice fair election and there's going to be no cheating and backstabbing and voter fraud, you got another thing coming. You're going to see a massive push to change this man out of office. A massive push. You're seeing it now as I speak. You may not hear it from other prepper channels, but you're going to hear it from this one. People like to tap dance sometimes. Tap dancing's over, guys. It's time to speak your mind, to stand up, and to fight for what's right. That's how the country's going to turn around. Get back to God, revival, turn the other way from destruction. Stop throwing our babies in the fire. Moloch worship, Baal worship. Stop bringing in evil and cling to Yahweh. Then watch how the country changes, how these people start disappearing, and when God steps in, what happens? An upheaval, a shaking. But that's only going to happen with a revival. We have to, it's not a scary movie. It's the truth.
No, it just sounded like that.
Yeah, he looked worried, Frank. He did. Again, it could be a combination of things, but imagine what he's been under the last 3.5 years or so. I mean, you've got Democrats threatening his family, basically, threatening Supreme Court judges, threatening Trump voters, threatening to do harm to people, doing harm to people on the streets of the United States. In the streets of the United States, we see police officers turning the other way while people get abused and beaten. When is that going to stop? If you're a police officer in one of those cities, please chime in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who are you taking your orders from? I know the orders come down from the mayor and up through the chief and down through the rest of the brass. But when is enough enough? When does protect and serve come into play? I don't know. Maybe Americans will have to start protecting and serving themselves. I know if I was in a city and that was happening, I'd protect and serve myself if I had to go out on the street. I'm certainly not going to sit around while somebody abuses me and my family or threatens harm to us. They might kill me, yeah, but I ain't gonna be sitting down. I'm gonna be fighting. So choices have to be made. Decisions have to be made. How long will we get abused? How long will we let it go on? How long will you let people call you racist and homophobe and all these other names to try to shut you up? I don't know. Maybe when they find power, we get what we deserve. Maybe we deserve Bernie Sanders in office or Joe Biden in office because they know how to handle everything, right? Maybe we need them. Maybe that's what we need together into one. Let's see how that works out for everybody. Maybe that's what we need until people realize what they lost. I'm trying to look at some of the comments here. When have the Democrats ever fixed anything? Or even even most Republicans? What did George Bush do? George Bush fooled me. He was a terrible president. Bill Clinton. I remember Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Ford. First George Bush, second George Bush, Clinton, Obama. Oh, my God. Cash for clunkers. How long did he wait before he responded to the to the uh, to the oil spill in 2010 in the Gulf? Millions and millions and millions of gallons of oil. The deep horizon. Where did he go? He went campaigning, campaign dinners, talked to sports figures or something about basketball. Sent somebody else to investigate it. Didn't let a good crisis go to waste, though. Shook down BP for $20 billion. Where's the rest of that money? Where'd all those billions go? Same place maybe the billions went with Clinton and Bush and all them that helped Haiti so much. You remember the earthquake in Haiti, right? All the beautiful, all the billions of dollars collected to rebuild the country and create the great infrastructure. Beautiful, right? Yeah, on paper it sounded really good until somebody walked away with all the money. Well, if you keep voting them in and you keep supporting them, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get real change. You're not going to make America great again. But America has to make itself great again. They can't rely on one man to do it. In order for America to make itself great again, we have to make a turnaround. It's very simple. Change of heart. Change of heart. And then what? Maybe God will relent. Maybe he won't send calamity and disaster upon us. Am I saying coronavirus is the end of the world? No. But maybe if we change, really change, rend our hearts, which means tear your clothes, rend your hearts, pull your hair out, tear your clothes, and change and turn and go the other way. Maybe then he will relent when we have a true heart change in this country. Instead of embracing demonic things and being seduced by Hollywood and political figures and sports figures. Maybe I'm just rambling on tonight. I don't know. It's been an hour, but I know the Clinton Foundation did take it. I'm sure they split it with some other people, some other well-ranked people. There was also a lot of businesses during Obama's administration, solar companies that went belly up, 500 million, $1 billion a year, hundreds of millions here. Nobody was held accountable. Nobody knows where the money went. Shakedown artists like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, shakedown artists. They get whatever they want because they go in, they scare companies into possibly losing business. They freeze people in their tracks by calling them racist, getting them fired from their jobs or afraid to speak up. And that's why America's in the position we're in right now, because we let thugs rule the day. Now we're at the point where many of our people support an avowed communist for president. Okay. Maybe that's what we need. Let's try it. See how it goes. Disneyland in Florida and Disneyland Paris this week. They're closing, I thought, right? Yeah, the Democrats have so many good answers for everything. Let them take the wheel for a while. Let's see what they do. If running their cities is any indication of what they'll do if they get the presidency again, we're all in for a big rude awakening. because they don't care. Politicians in general don't care about their constituents. They care about power and greed and getting elected and elected and elected, and getting sweet deals from special interest groups and money under the table and cutting deals and selling secrets to other countries and giving away our giving away the ship for money. How do you think all of them become multimillionaires at the end of 20, 30 years in office? What have they ever done? You know, once in a while you have to make a list of what you did, your successes. I did it you did it for your boss. I do it in my monthly report from my boss. I put down um, important items. I put down routine items. I put down other things. I break it up into different categories, but I write down stuff we've had trouble with, stuff we've had successes with, how we're going to fix this, how many people were hurt, how many people missed work, what our turnover rate was. There's a whole bunch of categories, but I list all of the things that we did for the month successfully, how we handled events. We did this many cleanings. We did this much square footage. We did these special projects. And I write down my successes and I categorize it and I save it month in, month out. I could pull up reports and say, here's what I've done over 30 years in the business. Here's what I've done. Here's what I've had problems with. Here's what I've encountered. I want to see some politicians do that. Give me a list of all the things you've done that helped the American people instead of hurt them. I want to see just a short list from some Democrats and Republicans. Make a list. Let's compare them. Let's do the Ben Franklin close that we learned in sales. You know, if the good outweighs the bad, if the good features outweigh all the bad things, then let's get the customer to buy it. Show me the good. Don't just talk about what you're going to do. I want to see what you did. Then maybe I'll vote for you. Then I'm going to investigate what you said you did and make sure you did it. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, California's staying blue. California's, ay. There are a lot of good people in California. I'm not just saying it's writing the whole state off, but your leaders are terrible at best. We basically have people in our government that don't adhere. Let's just call it what it is. They don't adhere to the Constitution. They don't care about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Founding Fathers, the blah blah blah. Go on and on. They don't care about the how all these documents came to be, the Federalist Papers. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. Their idea for America is to blend it into a new world order, blend it into the rest of the world. It becomes just another part of the United Nations or whoever's going to lead the world, this new world order. This new leader is going to rise up. The Bible talks about it. We could stay on all night and talk about this. But the new leader doesn't rise up and take power until what? There's a great falling away, which is occurring. We could debate it, but there's a great falling away taking place in this country, falling away from the faith, and around the world. And then what happens? The restrainer, or the Holy Spirit, that kind of restraining everything right now and keeping everything together, will be pulled away, and people are really going to fall away fast. And then the Antichrist, this world leader that everybody loves and cherishes and looks forward to peace and safety, will make his move. But we should all be worried because the falling away is happening at a very, very fast rate in this country. You see it on the news every day. What 6-year-old needs a lap dance by a transgender person while his mom and dad clap and parade her around the room? What kindergarten kids need to know that they don't have to be a boy or a girl, or they want to be whatever they want?
or have to know kinky sex stories. For what reason? To dement their mind, mold and shape it from morals, values, God-fearing, to worldliness, like in Romans 12:2. Satan is renewing their minds by doing that, to conform to his world system. That verse is telling us to get rid of that and conform. Don't conform to that. Conform to Yahweh's system. You have two choices. That's what it comes down to. People don't care LBGTQ. You think your political leaders care about that? No, they know that that's going to degrade the family, change minds, degrade people, get them ready for artificial intelligence or whatever else is coming down the road. It's all a system they have planned. And like I said, you can't control everything. You could know about it. You could be awake to it. You can only be awake to it if you know the word. If you only know it, you have to renew your mind towards Yahweh's commands and not the world systems or the beast systems commands. So when Trump leaves office, if he does get elected and makes it another 4 years, what about when he leaves? We still are stuck with, we have to change our collective minds. Fairy Lover 123, Obama is the Antichrist. I've heard people talk about that. I don't know if I'd go 100% along with that, but I would tell you this. The way the people fawn over him around the world and in this country and look to him for leadership is what they're going to do to the real Antichrist. Same thing. He could do no wrong. Everything he does is right. He's the savior. It's definitely a type of Antichrist. Fairy Lover, I believe. The end of days is here. Yep. Thanks, Firestorm. I do plan to keep up the live streams, especially now that I'll be here for 6 weeks and out of work on FMLA. So hopefully we could do more of these, stay on longer. I won't have to go to bed at a regimented time every night. So I've got a little more leeway to doing stuff than being bogged down at work. But again, family, my wife's health is important, is the most important thing right now to me. But also I want my country to be a country that my kids and grandkids can grow up in and not have to be in fear for their lives or for what they believe in, to be fearful of that or have that being brainwashed. Are you getting another snack? So I went out and bought like everything. I mean, I even bought what else did I buy? I bought her 2 types of ice cream. Ready Whip, extra creamy Ready Whip. Frito Scoops, which I'm getting some after this. But I did buy some healthy stuff. Kashi cereal, oatmeal, some protein drinks.
I'm eating while I can.
What's that? What's that?
I'm eating while I can.
Oh, she's eating while she can.
He's stocking up like a bear in the weather.
I could hear Charlotte snoring on the bed over there. Thank you, Mr. Glass. I appreciate it.
Teddy.
Oh, it's Teddy? Oh, Charlotte's up. Okay. Hi, Mama. Advice to fight the coronavirus effectively. Oh, boy. What is that? Oh, those are good. Little tangerines.
Those are good. Living the life, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm living the life. No, I'm not.
Living the life.
I'm cooped up here.
Talk about SHTF.
You just worked out, Ed.
I did work out in the hotel lobby, but I have a membership to Anytime Fitness, which they're all over the country. There's actually one like walking distance from here. So I think tomorrow after Barbie's appointment, or even on this weekend, I may go and check it out and do a workout. My key fob is good. You know, it's a 24-hour gym because the gym in the hotel only has some dumbbells. It doesn't have that much to work out. Maybe I'll do some workout vids and training vids. I haven't done those in a while. Only because I don't have anybody to film me most of the time, so it's hard for me to do it. But maybe you can come down one night and film it. We'll do some instruction to get you in shape physically.
What?
No, to get people in shape physically.
Yeah.
My channel is mental, physical, and spiritual.
Oh, okay.
The complete man
That's right.
and woman.
You've never had time to make lives, so you can enjoy them.
Yeah, I want to do a lot more lives. I think because I like them because you guys are emailing and sending your questions in or your comments. It's real nice. I like it. I like the format. I'm going to try the next one from my phone though. I'm going to see how that works. Let me just check my notes here and see if I think I covered it. Oh, the Veterans Affairs nursing homes are in an emergency situation. There's 5 cases of COVID-19. I got this earlier today. The VA Secretary Robert Wilkie said visitors are not allowed at roughly 135 nursing homes, which house more than 8,000 veterans. One veteran has a confirmed case. So one confirmed case of one veteran caused all of this. I mean, it's just a snowball effect. Veterans have it hard enough. It's just terrible. It's a terrible situation. Medical martial law, that's definitely something, Brandon, that we were talking about earlier, about the powers that be getting people ready for something, getting them socially engineered to accept certain things. And a lot of it, the first thing is fear. By planting fear in people, they can get them to do or follow certain things that maybe they wouldn't have followed before. And then a fear, and then it follows but intimidation, distraction, and of course division, which we've seen started when Obama took office, really in 2008, and it's been festering ever since. And it's festering because he put into place, even after he left office, which it's a whole nother video, but I don't think he's ever left. I think there's many in government that still report to him. That's why he never left Washington. That's why he still lives there. But there are many that still think he is the president and treat him as that. So we'll keep that for another video. But the division that he brought about, he didn't bring Americans together. He set Americans apart from what I observed for the 8 years that he was in office. And I don't think I would have many. Well, I may have many people that don't agree with me, but that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. It's what I saw and where I saw the country was before he took office and then after he took office. So why don't we? New York stores are clean of hand soap. Well, you can make your own soap. Obama does live in a huge house, walled in Washington, D.C. somewhere. I don't know the exact address, but I know he's still there. He's got a whole communications system in there, I'm sure. And so the people he put into high places
basically still work for him. And we've seen that during this last almost 4 years of the Trump administration. We've seen those people be exposed and come to light that support Obama and Hillary and that gang. So they're still, many of them, most of them are still in power. So you're not going to see any real change until that's changed. So that's that, as they say. So let's I believe the virus was planned, just looking at how everyone has coordinated to shut things down at one time. State of emergency will be used to bypass our constitutional rights. Exactly. That's what they're getting us set up for. Whether it's for an event in the near future or down the road a ways, they're getting us ready for it. So the more they practice this, the better they get at it, the more response they get from the people and cooperation, and the more important people they can parade in front of the cameras. And we'll close this after this. If you want food, you need to give in your guns. If you want water, food, medicine, if you want to be treated, if you want a vaccine, which I'm sure is down the road as well, who knows what's going to be in that. If you want the vaccine, you have to do this, or that, quid pro quo. And then we know they want our guns, so that'll be tied into something. Whatever the end game is, that'll be tied into it. So don't expect, and how many starving people will give up their guns?
And John Hopkins.
Probably most.
Out face masks that had hands on them. People still.
Oh yeah, John Hopkins Hospital, where they usually have the face masks out on the counters when you check in. We went to get one. My wife wanted one today when we got there, and they said, no, we have to take them. You can have one, but we've got to keep them behind the counter because people are stealing. So people are stealing hospital masks in the hospital.
And not just
So
one bar.
imagine what they're going to do if they're hungry and thirsty and need medicine and know you have it, or I mean, it's a bad scene. That's why you prep. So thanks, you Bedford. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I see 35 people online here. It's been an hour and 24 minutes. See, the good thing about live is the time flies. People
go long, man.
If it was the weekend, I wouldn't go off. I'd stay on for 8 hours. I think that's the max. I'd stay on all night. As long as I got snacks and food and the dogs are walked, I'm good to go.
Crime channels, I stay on like 4 or 5 hours.
So let's I'll put together another live for maybe this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, or tomorrow, depending on what goes on in the news. If there's something I really want to talk about, I want to talk more about, a little bit more specific about prepping and things that maybe you could put together for people that maybe want to put together a kit inexpensively. I didn't make a video on it, but I duplicated a 3-week long-term survival food kit, that you buy like for a 3-week kit will cost like $120 or something like that. It's a 30-year shelf life food in a bucket. Well, I duplicated that with a Walmart shop for like under $50, and it was a 3 weeks amount of food. Now, granted, it wouldn't last 25 years unless you sealed it properly, but it was a 3-week food supply for under $50 that you could get at Walmart. I did it online. I didn't even go to the store. I did the products online from each category, and I'll share that in a video. And it wasn't anything major. I mean, it was just, breakfast, some lunches, soups, oatmeals, things like that. And it came in a box. It came 2 days later from Walmart, and it was a 3-week food supply. Think about that. All you need is some water to go along with that. And before I close, don't go to Walmart and fight people over water, please. You have a tap in your kitchen in your bathroom. Fill up water containers. When you buy, let me show you. When you buy juice bottles, when you buy these, when you buy bottles like this, don't throw them out. Rinse them out. Fill them with water. I keep them for a year. Date them before you rotate them. I put them on a shelf. That's 32 ounces of water. You have a tap. It's free. Why go fight and kill somebody for water?
Show me your church of firearms today.
Show them what?
Huh?
What's that?
Show me your church of firearms today.
No. I'm not discussing my when I travel, I don't discuss my self-defense plans, or I don't discuss any of that when I travel. After I travel and I get home, I'll tell you what I did, but I don't discuss and give away those things. But when I go back home, I'll do a video on that. But like I said, I do have tentacles here that I could reach out to very close by for in an emergency. So.
People watching our house.
My dad's in my house, so if you want to go there and knock on the door, God bless you. He'll kill you for no reason at all. He's not nice like I am.
He's not.
He's ruthless. At 78 years old, he's still ruthless. What's that?
Tell him how he ruined it for long with that boy in the gym. Because he said, the kid said he was in concrete business. I need you to have a job for you.
Oh, God. That's a whole nother video. They don't want to hear that.
Why? They do.
That's a whole nother video. I know it's not orange juice. It's probably a bunch of additives, but the idea of having the bottle to fill up with water.
We wanted the bottle.
Actually, we should have brought our juice press and made some real stuff. Yeah, may have to get that.
Omega.
But yeah, my father scared off a guy in the gym. I think it was last year or a year ago. Had to be over a year ago. My daughter was lifting with me. Her and I were training together. And my father just shows up at the gym. He lifts in his street clothes. He's totally off the grid. So he walks in and he sees this guy my daughter's talking to in the gym. And next thing you know, the guy's like, he was talking to my daughter up until that point. Like they were communicating with each other and kind of keeping in touch. I think they went on one date. But my father talked to him for like 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, the guy's posting on his page.
No, he said he's in the concrete business.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the guy's posting on his, what page was he posting on? Instagram or Twitter? He said, I met this girl. She's prettiest girl in the world, blah, blah, blah. But her grandfather, man, I'm not going to test it out. He's mafia and he's making cement boots for me. And so he basically scared the guy off. So that's my dad. So,
yeah, that's your dad.
I saw AOC on Fox certain people, when they come on, I can't watch them. Like, she's one of them. Obama was another one. I couldn't watch him. When he gave a speech or something, I had to turn the channel. It was like, when Dracula sees the cross, I just couldn't watch it. It was like kryptonite. Took all the strength out of me. So
What do they think about this?
AOC is nothing but a washed up bartender that handlers took and propped up and put her in place. It's the people behind her that you really have to worry about. That's my philosophy on AOC.
Italy does.
Yeah, Italy has it bad, and why? Because I don't know. Is it connected to what Salvini was doing there? Trying to keep illegal migrants out of the country. Like I talked about in the beginning of the video, one way to keep people off the streets and change a country's attitude on something is to unleash a pandemic, and that's exactly what happened. So they also hinting at Trump not having any more rallies. Coincidental? Yeah, sure. Maybe.
Now they're threatening not to make our medicine, China.
Yeah, maybe they need to stop making our medicine so we can make it ourselves. That'll force us to make it ourselves. We should be doing.
That's true.
Why are you going to sub out something to an enemy and to make for you and ship back to you? Who knows what they're putting in it? Who knows if they're putting nanotechnology in the medicine that does something to you down the road, that has a kill switch in it? I don't know. Conspiracy theory, right? Research what's going on around the world with technology and nanotechnology and other technologies, and you'll see for yourself. It's not a conspiracy theory.
Dollar store just got hold of a delivery.
All right, the dollar store got restocked.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
White toilet paper.
AOC is weapons grade stupid, but exactly. But she was propped up. She's put there. There's a whole video on who put her there and how she got elected and how she got picked. She auditioned. A lot of these people in government are actors and actresses. It's the people behind them that pull the strings. They're just the front person doing the acting. So, all right. So let's call it a night at 9:03 p.m. I know some of you guys have work. I actually don't have work for once, so I'll think of my next video. God bless you, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I love you guys. Hope you guys will join me for the next live video. Thanks for your prayers, your support. Like and subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my older videos that I've done, prepping. You'll learn a lot. I go back and watch them too, so I can learn and keep learning as well.
Hit that like button.
Yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight, and hope to see you again soon. Stay ready. Anthony signing off.